What is up, everyone? Welcome to 2024. The pod lives on. This is the third calendar year anyway, not like the third year we're doing it, Vito, but we have
Hey,
done
let's have it.
we have done these shows in 22, 23, and 24. We're coming up on the 2-year anniversary of the show as a whole, which just blows my mind. Vito, what's up, man? Super Kick Weekly in the house.
Super Kick Weekly. Yo, yo, yo. We're back. What up, dude? I'm
It is.
happy to be here. I love it. Been a minute.
It's
Seems
been a
like
little
just
bit.
yesterday.
The last time we talked to y'all, we had our end of year awards for 2023. We have
Yes.
since closed the chapter and have ventured now as we sit here. It's January 14th, 2024. So we're 2 weeks in to the new year. And I would say that there's quite a bit happening in the world of wrestling. So there's just,
I would say,
it's time for us to catch up, right?
yeah, I would say there's a lot going on. Yeah.
I mean,
Good and bad. Uh,
it's almost one of those things like where to begin. The year ended, I would say, uh, fairly unnewsworthy. Of
yeah,
course,
yeah.
things kind of ramped down, around the holidays, given the entertainers and their families and such. But then we embarked into the new year. So, I mean, before we go into 2024, is there any 2023 stuff that we don't want to overlook that happened in like that last week?
Um, Man, starting this off, I do want to say I have not finished watching Collision last night. I just realized that.
Yeah,
Hopping on the Twitter machine here. Dang.
catching up
All
on the
right. Well,
collision results. Well,
shoot, 2023.
2023, we had World's End, right? That ended the year pretty much. So that was pretty
Yeah.
newsworthy. I guess that's kind of a good place to start off, a good jumping off point, right, Vito, my man?
Yeah. Hey, my brain doesn't always remember thing right off the bat, but now that you've brought that up, let's talk about World's End.
Okay. Is there any other stuff coming out of the show that you want to get my opinion on before we talk about the obvious elephant in the room, the big reveal?
The Devil, is that what you're referring to?
Yes, sir.
Um, let's see. I pulled up the card. Let me just look up the
Let's
card.
go over that card and we'll kind of give,
Okay.
because we've been some places since then, but,
Um,
we'll kind of, man,
I'll just start off with Willow Nightingale and Chris Statlander. Willow Nightingale defeated Chris Statlander. I did not think that was totally going to go that way. Of course, I'm a mark for Chris Statlander. But that little thing with, what's his face is weird. Uh, I can't remember his name all the time. Uh, what's his name? The guy who's now part of Ring of Honor. He's one of the guys in Ring of Honor now. Stokely Hathaway. That
Stoke.
guy. Yeah. The thing with him and Chris Statlander is really weird for me. That's stuff that I think is weird going on. He's kind of obsessing over her. I don't know. Feel it's maybe a swerve thing to get Willow. I don't know.
Hmm.
Kill Switch. Hate it. He won the 20-minute battle royal or 20-man battle royal. Let's just talk about that being useless. That led to another match that was useless. We had our talk about that. I'm not gonna waste time on that. Uh, let's see. Timeless Tony Storm, always a delight. Uh, anyway, what's your idea of the pay per view?
Well, you could have kept going over the whole card. Don't just leave me hanging in the
All
middle of the
right,
card.
all right, all right. Hook and Yuta, that was a good match. For the um, FTW title, it wasn't for the pure pure rules title.
I'm counting on
Um,
you to give me the rundown because I still haven't watched the show besides like some clips. So,
oh, okay, all
yeah.
right. So then there was a Blackpool Combat Club versus Jay Lethal, Brody King, Jay White, and Rouge, and they won. BCC won that. I don't like eight mans. Do you like eight mans?
They can be done all
And then
right if
here's
they're
another thing that got me.
depends on how you
Uh,
map it out.
yeah, really? I don't know. To me, it's always like it gets down to the end. It's just like a lot of finishers getting hit and or big moves getting hit. I always get lost in it.
I really like some of the older. Recently, a couple months ago, revisited a couple of the old Survivor series
Oh yeah,
and how they put together a lot of those matches are really well done. Of course, there's eliminations there.
yeah. Elimination I can get behind
So,
because
yeah, I
then
mean,
it gets smaller and smaller.
right.
Then there's Swerve Strickland and Prince Nana defeated Dustin Rhodes, which should have been Keith Lee, but he got injured. Miro defeated Andrea Lidolo with CJ Perry interrupting, and that was probably Andrade's last match.
Right.
My guess is
So,
he'll be in the Rumble.
right. It's definitely
So
possible.
Julia Hart beat Abaddon in a great match. Um, House rules match, which means Abaddon got to pick the stipulation, and she chose that biting was legal.
Why
I
not,
love
right?
that. Yep. Uh, there was a "This is spooky" chant like 3 or 4 times during the match.
This is spooky.
So the next match was the other wasted match. Adam Copeland defeated Christian Cage for the TNT title. And then the kill switch came down and was gonna cash in his battle royal contract for the TNT title, and instead he just signed it over to his dad, or patriarch, and Christian laid on Adam Copeland and took the title back.
So he could have cashed that in on any title.
No, just the TNT title,
Oh, okay.
but anytime, anywhere, Money in the Bank style.
Well, then it wasn't useless for him to win the battle royal because that,
But
foreshadowed to
the
the.
but the match was the whole situation was useless. I hated it.
What a bunch
Anyway,
of. Yeah. No, I
the
see.
great match of the night was Eddie Kingston defeating John Moxley for the Continental Classic Championship, Triple Crown Championship, something.
The end of the
What's it
tournament.
called?
Yeah.
It's called the
Continental
Wikipedia
Classic,
don't
right?
Wikipedia don't have it right here. It's the Continental Crown Classic Championship or something. It's a weird name.
Fair
But he's
enough.
also the Ring of Honor World Championship, the New Japan Pro Wrestling Strong Openweight Champion. 3,
Oh.
Belt Collector. And then the main event.
See, this is something to talk about right here. This is a point of interest. There's several different story arcs and things we can discuss as far as this goes. But the reveal as a whole, I mean, it
Did you
makes
like the
sense.
match?
It makes
Did you
sense.
watch the match?
Well, I only saw parts of the match as well.
Oh.
Like I said, I haven't even seen the. But I mean, how was the match itself?
It says it went 1750. It didn't seem that long.
It really isn't that long. And for a main event, you're thinking the main event's going to at least go 20.
Yeah. I mean, it's close to 20.
Right.
1750. It's halfway between a 15 and a 20. It was, I mean, I don't know. It told a story. It was a good storytelling match. It really was. So if that's what you think is a good match, then yeah. Um, but it really just was Samoa Joe beating up MJF, just like his last match was. But instead of the leg, it was shoulder. So yeah. I mean,
When you put
I
it
don't know.
that way, it seems like kind of a whimpery way out. You really hate to see, after that run. That's the thing that made me uh not like the just like the finish and kind of how it was done in general. Not that the reveal was bad, because like the reveal made sense, so you can't
The
knock him for
reveal was
that.
amazing how they did it.
Right, you can't knock him for that. But also, you can also look at it like I look at it as like a fan of Max's, this awesome reign, the longest reign anyone's ever had, and like that's how you're going to end it. It doesn't really, I don't think it's going to really help Joe too much. I mean, maybe a little. Um, I would have loved
I
to have seen him like lose it to somebody like, convincingly, and then not be like a screwed thing. Like I understand if he's hurt or whatever, I guess that's kind of part of how that they did it like this. But
heard in an interview he said that he's gonna nurse like Kenny Omega did. Like he's gonna nurse 20 injuries and come back strong. Said he's got like a shoulder, something internal, a leg, something, a bunch of other stuff. So he's got a list that he's gonna heal up. Then he'll be back.
the reveal
But
itself was, like I said, it made sense. Anyone that's, I don't know, I haven't really heard many people complaining about it. You know what I mean? It's not like it was bad. It's not like it was something, we've had much worse reveals in the history of wrestling, let me tell you, as far as something that we built up, but at least they ripped the band-aid off and now it's over, in 2024, able to start this fresh.
my problem with it, they haven't done. They've come out a couple times since then. The Undisputed Kingdom. I like the name.
Right,
Brought it back from the Undisputed Era and put the Kingdom in there.
right,
I like the name. My problem is Wardlow. Uh, Adam Cole keeps saying that this is Wardlow finally got a family who respects him, but he also keeps mentioning that he says Roderick Strong's going to go for the international championship,
right.
and then Wardlow's going to go win the world championship, and then as soon as I'm healed, he's just going to hand it to me. And then the camera pans up to Wardlow, and he's just like, yeah. Mm. And then he said it again the next week, and I'm like, oh no, no, no. The next week he's like, we are going to be world champion after Wardlow wins it. And I'm all, what? They're starting that like the very first week? I figured like they'd wait for that, but
Right.
he's still injured. He just said that Wardlow has a family who respects him, and he's immediately saying he's going to hand the title to me. And I'm like, why are they doing that? But hey,
Well,
maybe. Hey, I'm not gonna. I'm gonna trust Tony Khan. Twitter don't trust Tony Khan, but I do.
it's an obvious seed to be planted there, but then again, it's like with such a thing, it's kind of like I don't know. It's almost like why do it like that if you're gonna do that? But there has to be a reason, you know. There has to be a reason why it's being presented that way.
Yeah.
Um, so we shall see. I think it's still going to be quite a while, right, before Cole comes back. So,
Um. Yeah.
and
Probably.
how does the pay per view, like, what does the AEW schedule look like going forward? What's our next pay per
Next
view?
pay per view is Sting's last pay per view, and that's not till March 4th.
That's in March. That's Revolution.
Revolution. Yeah.
Okay. Well, we think that we already have the match for that lined up.
Sting and Darby versus the Young Bucks.
So, what's your take on that?
Um, I'm wondering if they're going to add to it. I'm wondering if they're going to maybe add
Flair?
Kenny or if they're going to add Flair. Oh, dude, hold up. They add if Sting and Darby Allin add Flair and the Young Bucks add Papa Buck.
Oh, wow.
Dude, Papa Buck gets down. He's been in a few matches.
um,
He does as much as Flair would.
You mentioned Kenny Omega, so what is the word on that? I heard he had diverticulitis or something.
Yeah, I just remember that right after I said it.
So
Yeah, Kenny Omega's out.
he's gonna be he's gonna be down for quite a while.
Yeah, he could be out. Well, Brock Lesnar had diverticulitis, and he kicked out of that.
Right, but it took him a while. I mean, he
Yeah,
didn't.
that's what that diverticulitis ended his UFC career, but then he came back to wrestling. So
Right, but
it
then
all depends on how you heal.
and then he fought again.
After the diverticulitis,
I believe so. Yeah, didn't his second UFC the first UFC run ended with the diverticulitis, and then that's when he went back to wrestling. But then he came back and he had a fight against someone, didn't he? In the last
oh, I don't remember.
at some point because he came back to WWE in like 2012, I want to say, and I think somewhere it was like 2016 or 17. He came back. Yeah, look that up. There's got to be because I'm pretty sure he came back and had like one more fight, maybe two. I think at least one. Because remember, that was like the whole thing for years that he was kind of playing WWE against UFC in his contract negotiations.
Okay,
And
let's
one
see.
year he actually did it.
He had surgery in 2009,
Right.
and then came back in 2010 and faced Shane Carwin for the title at UFC 16,
Oh, okay.
116.
So that yeah. So he tried to come back to fighting, but then he was like, I can't do it anymore.
Oh, hold on. He came back and beat Shane Carwin
Was that the
by
only fight?
submission.
Was that the only fight he had in between there?
Yeah. I don't know if he fought after Shane Carwin or not. I'll go look.
That was his last fight, huh? In 2010?
I'm looking that up right now. See here.
Yeah, there's got to be.
Okay. No, he fought Cain Velasquez at UFC 121. And then he was supposed to fight at 131, but he was struck with more diverticulitis. Let's see here. And he wrestled at one. He wrestled. He fought at 141 against Alistair Overeem. And I'm
What
not
year
sure.
was 141?
2011.
Okay, well that was still
And he
before
lost.
that was before the wrestling return still.
And he lost in that match. That could be his last one. Let me keep looking. Nope, he fought against. Hold on a second. Let's see. Oh, I'm figuring this out. Let's see. He fought against someone else here. Nope. Hold on. Who's this? Lesnar dominated the first of 3 rounds, battering Hunt. He wrestled Mark Hunt. He fought Mark Hunt at UFC 200 in 2015.
Yeah, and see, there you go. I knew it.
Let's see.
That was the last time, I believe.
That was his. Hold on a second. What
That
is
was his
this?
one return, from what I see here. So yeah, as a 5-3 record, that was his last UFC fight anyway. And
He was slated to fight a couple other guys, but it never worked out. So there's that.
oh, okay, yeah.
That's a rabbit hole.
So 2016, that would have been the year. That would have been right after WrestleMania 32, which I'm pretty positive he worked. I think he fought Roman. If we look that up here, 32. No, Triple H and Roman was the main event there. Oh, was this the year he worked with Ambrose? Come on, give me the matches. Come on. Results, here we go. Brock Lesnar defeated Dean Ambrose in 1306. Yep. So right after the whole Dean Ambrose thing, he leaves and goes and has a UFC fight in July that same year.
Huh.
But then ends up
Wow.
coming back to, but he wasn't gone for long because I'm pretty sure he was back in WWE by the end of the year or the next year. So that was either just some specially worked out thing or something like that. And of course, we all know the stories about that, about them working together on that with the, you know, I don't know, whoever you're a fan of, basically, like neither guy wanted to work with each other, as the sounds of it, you know. Dean didn't want to work with him. Brock didn't want to work with him either, and it made for a rather odd pairing.
Yeah.
So that's very interesting. It's crazy.
So you want to talk?
Speaking of Brock Lesnar, while we're on the
Oh,
subject, I don't want to forget these little tidbits that I've been seeing. Not really sure how true the quote is, but it's been going around the internet. It was Matt Riddle on a podcast basically talking about how he was supposed to win the Rumble a couple years back, but Brock basically vetoed it. Do you believe this story? And I mean, what do you think
I'm
of
gonna
it?
say no.
Right?
I'm gonna
Yeah.
say I do not believe that story. I don't think Brock Lesnar has that much stroke.
Right.
I don't think anybody has that much
Well,
stroke.
that was the year he won, though.
Yeah,
Was the thing.
yeah. I don't think he
Whatever year
has that
that
much
was,
stroke.
the last year that he won the Rumble, whatever that year was, where it was just like it seemed completely random that
Yeah,
that he came in and won the Rumble. It was like, well, you could have really got.
yeah,
There's a lot of ways you could have got Brock a title shot. He didn't really need to win the Rumble. Like Brock could
yeah,
pretty much walk in there and just ask for a title shot, most of the time. But no, yeah. So I don't know. Thought that was interesting, but probably not true, huh?
No, I don't think so.
It's a wrestling lore thing.
Uh, yeah, it seems like Matt Riddle has been on some type of weird exit, like rampage. It's just saying weird things. It seems like. I feel like I don't remember what it was, but I think he said something else that I didn't believe too. I don't remember what the context was, but I was like, no.
He resurfaced at the New Japan show in California the other day. He was slated to team with a mystery partner, and the mystery partner was revealed to be his old tag team partner, Jeff Cobb.
Oh, nice.
So they had a nice little reunion of
I
their
like
team,
Jeff
I
Cobb.
guess. And I guess that might be the plan for them going forward, since it looks like that's what he's going to do now is Japan stuff.
I like
Um,
Jeff Cobb.
what do you think about that? What do you think about these new guys working for New Japan? We've seen a few guys that just debuted, right? Wrestle Kingdom or so, week or so
Uh,
ago.
well, Nick Nemeth showed up um, at New Japan show, like on the in the audience.
Right,
His name, yeah, Nick Nemeth. And then I saw that he just showed up at a TNA pay-per-view last night wearing a TNA shirt.
right,
Did you hear about that?
right.
So
Well, I've been seeing like memes with it and stuff on, but I wasn't sure like it was real. I didn't
it
know.
didn't look real to me.
Right.
It looked like a Photoshop picture, but then I looked another place and it said something about it was real or something. And I was like, all right, well,
But isn't like TNA is basically under the WWE umbrella now, right? Theoretically, like what's the
what? Really? I didn't hear nothing about that.
well, uh, okay, so basically the thought is because the streaming service that TNA has, it was just bought by whatever the company is, Endeavor,
Yeah,
which is the other company
yeah, they own
that they merged with.
UFC and WWE.
Right. So they're all under the same umbrella now, is the thought. So basically this like research, like I don't know if any is confirmed, but my speculation is that TNA is now becoming like um a separate farm system
Oh,
Uh,
wait a minute. I
for
didn't know that. Dana Brooke debuts at TNA too.
see, there you go, yeah. And she's doing like a Tony Storm esque gimmick, I guess.
Let me look at the video real quick. Give me a second, folks. So, Ash
Pretty
by Elegance.
pretty
I guess
interesting,
that's her
huh?
name. Yep. All
Yeah.
right. Ash by Elegance. Cool. Good for her.
So yeah, a lot of stuff happening there. So who else? There was a couple other guys besides him and Riddle. Someone else showed up at Wrestle Kingdom. I want to say, uh, gosh, I want to say Ricochet, but I know that's not right. But it was one of the, I don't know.
Mustafa Ali.
Was it Ali?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, I guess that's who I was thinking of.
So another thing I just saw right before I came on here was Jack Perry showed up at the show
Yeah.
uh, wearing a armband that said scapegoat and tore up an AEW contract. I was like, oh, but AEW and New Japan have a working relationship together, so pretty sure it's a work.
Yeah. No, I'm saying, yeah, total work as far as that goes, but it's an interesting thing, and maybe this can be something that will kind of repair um, his image, I guess. Maybe
Yeah,
just
he's
kind
got a
of
full-on beard.
just hide him off in New Japan and let him improve there for a couple years, and then you can bring him back to AEW down the road.
Yeah,
You know,
he looks good. Full beard, looks cocky.
I mean, that is kind of the thing. You know, if you do it right, it can make sense to just have to rehab a guy. You know, that's just kind of what you do. And I don't know. The more I look at wrestling, like secularly as a whole, man, especially the last few years, it's just like uh, it is what it is. It's kind of like the attraction is the wrestling. You have guys that are more popular than others or whatever, but mainly like the attraction is the company and the fact that there's wrestling.
Yeah,
Like that's and if it's promoted right, it's going to come across good like that. The names are interchangeable. It's like, but they still find a way. If you're a good company, or just, if you're a wrestling company that survived in general year after year, try to find a way to uh, fill the places and, year after year, event after event, try to find a way to get the people in the door.
yeah. Oh, and
So,
Jack Perry assaulted Shota Umino. So
oh, okay.
that's who he beat up.
Shumino? Umino?
Shota Umino. I
Oh,
don't know if
okay.
I'm pronouncing it right, but
Either way.
New Japan Strong area. Oh, somewhere. I don't know. So anyway, yeah, you want to talk about something that's not very good on AEW side?
What's
Want to
that?
talk about the big drama?
There's big drama that we haven't covered.
Yes. I mean,
Okay.
it's about a week old, but it's
S-
still
Hey,
stuff that needs to be talked about.
hey, spill it. What is this? I'm drawing a blank.
Tony Kahn and Jinder Mahal.
Oh God, this thing.
I mean, it's got to be talked about. It's like, what's your thoughts on it? Do I have to read it out? Do we have to say what it is? Tony Khan was talking. He was trying to hinder Jinder. No, it
He
didn't
had
seem like it.
basically, yeah, he made a tweet, but that was in response to something that the USA Network tweeted. I
Yeah,
guess something about star ratings, and then, yeah, and then Khan says something like, because Jinder, they brought him back a week ago, did the whole thing with him and The Rock, but then last week they brought him out and had him confront Seth and set up a match for this next week's Raw, which is
yeah,
obviously just a throwaway match,
yeah,
which, you know, AEW does all the time. Um,
yeah,
and we all kind of know what they are. I mean, none of us expect Jinder to go in and vanquish the title from Seth Rollins, but uh, he felt the need to point out that there was hypocriticism, people criticizing him for booking Hook, who he saw as a more legitimate contender than Jinder, who, you know, hasn't been on TV for an over a year, hasn't won a match, you know, et cetera, et cetera.
yeah,
Which I think was a valid point. But now, of course, the Kahn haters are saying that this is coming off as petty. And, you know, and then, you know, the Kahn haters, and then you have like a small subsection of Jinder defenders out there. Uh, and they're just all kind of coming together and firing
3 and
back.
B groupies is what they are.
No, I mean, just
What's your
seeing,
thoughts on it? Do
well,
you think
look,
Tony Khan was petty, out of line? What?
I don't think you can compare the two fairly, because to me, honestly, in my mind, if it's me, in my book, if I was booking this game here, when you have like a former champion, I think that they kind of like automatically have like some sort of clout. You know what I mean? Regardless of if he's like, of course, Jinder's like a loser or whatever, right? But he can always play that like I'm a former champion card,
Yeah,
and it could be he can literally cash in that card, you know, once every couple years or so, and it'd be like totally fine. And that's more or less what this is. Um, but yeah, as a fan, you're looking at it like, man, gonna give Jinder a title match, like that's super, like, you know,
yeah,
just super weird or whatever. Especially the fact that they had Seth Rollins come to that Raw literally just to do that. That was literally all he did, was this 20-minute talking segment with Jinder Mahal in
hmm
the thing. So like, uh,
yeah. My thing is people got on the Tony Khan for putting the tweet out, but my thing is um Tony Khan, everyone knows he's a mark. His business is a wrestling fan, you know?
right,
And it's like if you're surprised that Tony Khan is doing things as a wrestling fan, uh,
right,
then you must be new here
that he's paying
because
attention to such things.
it's just who he is.
Right,
And just because he runs a business doesn't mean he's not going to get out there on the Twitter and protect his business in a certain way. Because so call it unprofessional, call it whatever you want, but he's still a fan.
I guess it all just kind of comes down to a matter of taste
Yeah.
for some folks. Some folks or just what different people's ethics are. Um, some people find it refreshing that you get the honesty and the transparency. As compared to um, like let's say, we can't say Vince McMahon anymore, but we'll say Triple H. In his Twitter account, it's very much like, yeah, he like says stuff like truthfully sometimes, when he's got to make like a statement or something, you can believe that those are his words, but it's not like he's out there like actively tweeting about things that are going on all the time.
Yeah.
So, and if he is, it's a very, he's going to give you a corporate, Twitter statement, more than likely.
All right. So
So,
now that that's out there, who you got? Seth Rollins or the Hindered Jinder?
well, I'm 100% on the Seth Rollins train. I mean, there's no way,
You don't think Triple H is gonna pull a swerve?
you know, I haven't heard about them hiring Vince Russo back recently, so I'm gonna go with a
Okay.
no on that. But
Let's switch channels. You think Hook is gonna upset Joe?
no,
Okay. Now we got
no.
that out of the way. You got anything you wanna discuss?
Well, keeping it in the WWE ballpark, let's kind of talk a little bit about that because I think they've done a really good job convincing us of at least a few people on the Raw side that have a legitimate argument for possibly winning the match. Um, when you
Are we
think
talking
about,
Rumble now?
we're talking about Royal Rumble here.
Oh, damn
You
it.
got Cody, you got Punk, you got Drew. Um, on the other side, there's, a few guys too, but,
Yeah,
uh,
laptop came unplugged.
and then
So,
we kind of glanced over the fact that with all this gender stuff, when he came back, we had The Rock come out and basically lay the groundwork for something to do with Roman Reigns. So, Vito, how do you think this is all going to shake out?
uh, I'm gonna get hungry when I leave here, and I'm gonna go to a restaurant.
I'm
Yeah,
gonna go to
I'm
the,
gonna,
I'm gonna go to the restaurant.
and I'm gonna sit at a table, or should I sit at a bar, or a booth, or a table? Or when I get to that table, should I sit on the side, or the back, or the bottom? Should I sit at the head?
Should the
That was so
Rock
weird.
should the Rock sit at a booster seat?
That was such a weird like way to put that. I thought at first he was gonna be like, "What restaurant should I go to, everybody?" But
Right,
then he's like, do, head of the table.
right.
It's like, holy crap! Take your time getting there.
So this throws a wrench possibly into, and there's a lot of different rumors going around, but nothing is really actually played out on television or anywhere else. So how
So
does this
far
go?
announced officially is Cody, Punk, Nakamura, Lashley, and McIntyre for the men's.
Oh,
Women's
wow.
is Bailey, Nia Jax, Becky, and Bianca. Okay, those are the ones who are officially announced.
Okay.
So let's get away from who's on the roster. Do you see any surprises? Who do you see in the free agency world that might pop in?
Well,
Or anyone you hope?
you mentioned Andrade earlier,
Yes, he's pretty much a shoe in for me, I think.
and I'm still, there's still in the back of my mind, thinking, possibly uh, there's the thing, there's the MJF thing. If you don't believe that he's as hurt as he's leading on, and this and that and the other thing, which, judging by the TV, and I don't know, just kind of the way that they've played this off, it can go either way, because it kind of seems like they're downplaying him quite a bit. Seems like Adam Cole was kind of burying him, so it could really go either way. Like they could either just keep burying him, or they could use that as part of the story. So I guess it's always kind of what happens when you think someone is leaving somewhere. So I think that that's a possibility. Um, I don't know. There's all kinds of guys. I did a whole video about it on Pro Wrestling Planet. Check it out. Cheap plug there.
Nice,
But
nicely done.
there was just there's a bunch of possible guys. There's a bunch of legends you could throw in there. Goldberg, Angle, um, you know, Taker could even come in and do. You know what I mean? I mean, there's all sorts of things. Cena could show back up, even though we don't. Supposedly
Wanted to.
he's gone.
I'm calling him White Dwayne now.
That's where we're at, right?
Yeah, I don't want Dwayne or John in there. Let Roman lose the title at Royal Rumble to, hold on a second. AJ. Then Roman and Dwayne at Mania, because
Oh,
he's not advertised for Elimination Chamber. He ain't going to Australia.
are you talking about Rock or Roman?
Both of them.
Oh, okay.
Neither
So
one of those guys are advertised for
you think it's
Elimination Chamber.
possible Roman drops the belt?
Yes,
Okay.
at Royal Rumble to let's see here, Randy Orton.
Okay.
So that way him and Rock can join up and fight each other for the head at not Al Snow's head, the head of the table.
Right.
They can fight for the head at WrestleMania, and it doesn't matter if Roman drops the title, he can come back for it next year or something. I don't know. SummerSlam, he can get it back from SummerSlam from LA Knight.
So they could wrestle. So they could just split everything up, completely shake it up,
Yeah, why
split
not?
off Rock and Roman, have and so who would you have win the Rumble then in that scenario? And then who do they challenge, and what match do you set up?
What are you talking about? I'm just kidding. Oh man, I don't want it to be any. I don't want Cody or Punk to win the Rumble. Is that okay to say? I got both of those guys on Monday Night Raw saying they want to finish their story. They should go read a book together in a corner somewhere. I don't care.
That would be an
Uh,
interesting thought.
I don't know. I mean, those guys that I all just read, those are all SmackDown guys. So Cody, Punk, if they won, then they'd be facing uh, Seth, whoever Seth wrestles at Royal Rumble. They haven't announced that yet. I'm guessing it'll be uh, Jinder probably. He wrestles Jinder on Monday. He'll probably wrestle Jinder for the next 3 weeks and then Rumble. That's how WWE works. Wrestle Jinder for the next 6 months, probably
They
three
could.
months.
They could do
Well,
that.
it's WrestleMania, so he'll wrestle him for the next 2 months.
Right.
He'll probably wrestle on Monday, do some stuff with them until Elimination Chamber. Then Jinder will be in the Elimination Chamber, and then WrestleMania will be whoever won the Rumble. So, I don't know. It's always hard to pick the Rumble.
Okay, well, we'll revisit that in a couple weeks.
Okay.
After we've had a little bit more of this play out, we might have a stronger feeling. But
You know who
there's a
I'd
lot of
like to win the
scenarios.
women's rumble? And I'm okay with saying this, and I don't care
AJ
who
Lee,
he, who's he. Ooh, she already said she retired. Don't mess
right?
with me. I saw an interview with her a couple of weeks ago. Uh, I would love for Jade Cargill to be a
Okay,
surprise entrant in the Royal Rumble and win.
yeah.
How how like the
No,
internet would blow up if that happened.
that is totally possible. My kids were just asking the other day what the deal with her was and why, you know, why she hasn't been around yet. And I was just like, I really don't know. I can't tell you. Uh, she's like the most followed Instagram person in the company. I do know that. So,
Triple H say Triple H said she's not wrestling because she sucks at wrestling. Whoever taught her over there sucks.
in a manner of
I,
speaking,
I,
yeah, I think I wasn't sure if that was a real quote or not, but yeah, I
yeah.
did see something along those lines. So,
But you know what really
uh,
sucks about that? It's Cody's the one who taught her.
Cody
Cody
and
and
QT,
QT Marshall, yeah,
yeah,
all those guys. It
yeah,
sucks, man. You do what you do.
well,
Uh, Logan Paul's gonna wrestle Kevin Owens for the U.S. title though, so that's good.
that'll be
Go,
neat.
go Kevin Owens.
That'll be a good one.
So I know I named all four of the people, and they're all three people that he's gonna wrestle. But do you think Randy Orton, AJ Styles, or LA Knight would, if one of those guys do win against Roman, who do you think would be the best person to take it?
Well, it's weird because it just, I think doing that just kind of messes everything up. But because I mean, my pick is that Roman keeps it. But if you had to switch it out to somebody, I would say just do the safe thing and give it to Randy. Probably. I don't think I would. I don't think I would let LA Knight inherit a championship WrestleMania match just quite yet.
He could
You know what
lose
I
it at
mean?
Chamber.
You could. Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of things you could do for sure.
I
Lose the
mean,
title in
one
the chamber.
person has had it for I don't know 10 years or something.
But
I don't
then you
remember
get
how
into the
long.
like they could do that, but then you get into the problem with the hot potato the belt until, you know what I mean? And then the steam of the belt will kind of come off, before Mania. But they used to do that a lot, especially in like the late 2000s, I remember. Uh, it seems like every year there would just be like all these crazy twists and turns. You could never really predict. That was like, I guess, their point. You know what I mean? They were just like, okay, we're going to make it to where even though whoever wins the Rumble, you still can't like bank on it. We could
Yeah,
still get all these twists and turns, get us to somewhere else, sort of thing.
that's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking since Roman's had it for you know all of eternity, if someone were to win it in the Rumble, even LA Knight were to win it in the Rumble and then lose it in Elimination Chamber, and then whoever wins the Rumble beats him or beats whoever at the Elimination Chamber, and then that person holds it for a while. It'll be like Roman can even say something like, "Oh, ever since I lost it, no one can even hold on to it," type thing. That can be a good way to go for it.
You could
Like,
do uh, like let's say you have Randy win the belt, and then Cody wins the Rumble, and you can have Cody and Randy, teacher student thing, the legacy history and all that, right?
Ooh,
That would be it.
nice.
That would be a good Mania match to complete his story. Then you can have Roman and Rock over here in a non-title match, like you were saying, and then you could figure out some other way that you can have Punk get to Rollins instead of winning the Rumble. Maybe that's the Elimination Chamber. Punk wins the Chamber to get a title match.
Ooh,
Something like that. So that's my. I'm not saying that'll happen, but that's my mock-up
I like that.
fantasy
That's a
situation,
good run.
just off the top of my head.
I
Take
take
that
I
for
take
what it
my
is.
way or your way.
Right. Those are
No other
both.
way though. It's
It.
gotta be my way or your way.
You got LA Knight. I got Randy. We can both agree that
Oh,
AJ
damn
is
it.
just not the guy.
Damn it, AJ.
So what's poor AJ Styles gonna do at Mania? Oh, we don't know. Maybe him versus Shane McMahon.
Maybe he'll get the Andre the Giant Battle Royal
Yeah, there you go. He can win. He can win that and stand
on the
next to it.
kickoff show.
Well, Vito, any closing thoughts here before we wrap this baby up?
Um, I don't know. I don't think so.
Is there anything that we missed? We pretty much hit all the hot button topics, I think, anyway,
Yeah, I think so.
as
I
far
think
as.
uh I think we're
Oh,
pretty good on this.
one last thing. The Chris Jericho stuff. What's your take on this? It seems to have quieted down in the last couple weeks. Um,
Um, I I don't like to cast judgment until all the facts are in.
right.
But if the facts come in and it says he was a naughty boy, then he should pay the dues.
It's super kick.
Until then, let's sex gods for the tag titles.
It's
I
super
didn't watch the show last night, so I don't know.
super kick weekly, folks. We're taking the high road as always.
I
All
gotta
right,
go watch Battle of the Belts to see if they sex gods won the tag titles or not.
let's do it, my man. I gotta do some stuff that I'm not gonna say here on the air. You
Oh
sweet
yeah,
me.
but I'm just gonna.
There you go. Always. PPW. PPPW forever. Till next time, we are out. Peace.
Super kick.